Oh man, today we got a special guest in the building.
Sure.
One of the most controversial guys to close 2025, man. We got Mr. Govan Hernandez, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. What it do, Sean?
Man, finally we got one in, man.
Man, most
You know what I'm
definitely,
saying?
most
How you
definitely,
how you feeling right now though?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm blessed by the best,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I meant to ask you too. I've always been curious. Your name is it Govan Hernandez or Hernandez Govan?
It's Hernandez. Go.
So I said it backwards.
Yeah.
Is that you?
I get
that?
that. Yeah. They make that mistake all the time.
Where? How do you get the name Hernandez? I've always been curious.
I think we talk about it all the time. You know, I think my mom was a little tipsy when she had me or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. I be joking, but I think she for the most part she picked that name because she liked it at 1st, and then after being born, they went to Marquette, because that was one of the names that she was thinking about naming me. But I wish she would have went ahead and actually changed it legally, because I hated Hernandez in school.
And I know all your life you've been answering that question.
Yeah,
everybody's been asking you that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, even when I used to be on the highway a lot, with Flip back in the day, and I get pulled over and shit by the police and shit. They always used to think I was what they call it, false identity and all of that, so they used to take me down through the
because that's a Hispanic last name.
Yeah.
Like,
and first name. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Govan, it sounds like it's a Hispanic name, so they like, damn, you on the run for murder? They used to always think I was on the run.
Really?
When I produce my ID and say Hernandez Govan.
So your mom, she is like no guy she was in love with or anything. Name her. It's just
no, it's just a name.
That's just a name she personally liked.
She liked at the time. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've always wanted to ask you that, because I was like, are you half Hispanic or?
Hell no, I'm black as ever.
Okay. So when the case came along, I've always heard the name Quet.
Yeah.
So that's you, right?
Yeah, from Marquette. Yeah.
Okay, Marquette.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess with the hearing, the last days of the judgment day for you, how scary was that?
I was more scared for my son than anything, for my autistic son. I had kind of like got to the point where I knew all the possible outcomes. And so with that being said, I kind of made, got right with myself, and just like, if I do lose, I done been all around the world. I had a great time, I guess, so to speak. My fear was for my son, he's nonverbal. So, even though he can't see it, I know, he was going to miss me a lot if I, were to lose. So that was my only fear. Of course, I didn't want to lose my freedom or whatever, but, slippers gold. So, I was just prepared for the worst.
The night before, did you sleep?
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't. I maybe got probably an hour or so, dozed off. I was up thinking, well, the night prior, it wasn't like that I knew that I was finna get the verdict the next day, because they just started deliberating. So I didn't think they was gonna come back that quick. I thought it was gonna take at least a couple of days or whatever, because I knew we had a great case. And when they came back so quick like that, it kind of, I was alarmed, and I said something to Manny about it. And he was just told me, come on, let's go in here. Because, normally when you watch the shows and all the crime shows, if a verdict come back real quick, normally it's guilty. I mean, everybody on, on the same page. But he said, I've seen it be different. Let's go in here and get to it. So we went in there, and when I heard the first not guilty, it was cool, but I know I had a second count. So after I heard the second count, and then, it was just a big relief off my shoulders.
That week, like, who was somebody who was keeping you calm outside of your lawyer? Were you making calls, friends?
Yeah, man, I got my older brother, knows, he was always there, my cousin, HP, then, just my kids was there, couple close friends, my baby mom, so I had some support, you know. I did.
Did you have any doubt?
Yeah, I did. And my doubt came from the fact that the majority of the hip hop community, I would say, had already ran with this narrative.
The world.
Yeah, exactly. That I was guilty before they actually got a chance to hear the facts and see the case, you know, be tried in front of a jury. So I was afraid that, you know, I was already convicted in people's mind or whatever. So I wanted to move the trial from Memphis, but Manny was against it. And I'm just, you know, I'm glad that I followed his legal advice and kept the trial there because I wanted to move it. And he said he didn't want to try my case in front of a little small, little town where majority of the people might be, you know, white and they may not understand the hip hop culture and what goes on in the streets or whatever.
Yeah. The co-defendants, you knew them, right?
I knew,
like personally.
I knew Cornelius for like maybe 3 or 4 months. Cornelius was a friend of my play brother, Bobby. He made a mistake and OD'd on heroin. So I met him through Bobby, but Justin straight drop. Yeah, he was a friend. I was around.
And which one? I can't remember. Which one was mentioning you throughout the trial?
The pill junkie, Cornelius.
Cornelius, yeah, okay.
Yeah, cornbread.
Do you think because he was sentenced before you, right?
Nah, you talking about Justin?
Yeah, I'm talking about Justin. So Cornelius, he said his he did his testimony and stuff, and you seeing that, did you think you were cooked when he did his testimony?
No, actually, you know, as we got knee deep in his testimony, I actually was starting to feel a little better because, you know, Manny had cooked him, you know, it caught him in several lies, you know, so I knew his credibility was shot. And I just put myself in the juror's seat, in a juror's seat, and just looked at it from their perspective. And when I did that, if I was a juror, there was nothing, I wouldn't believe nothing that he said, you know, because it was obvious that, you know, he was up there just trying to free himself up from some shit that he did, you know.
So you hear the first no guilty, you hear the second no guilty. Like what's? I
mean, it's just I don't know what it feel like to be reborn again, but if I had to describe it, I would say, you know, I would use that example for sure. You know, it was just a big ass relief, Sean. You know, it's just like a nigga got his life back. You know, it's time to, you know, get back to it and everything I lost, you know, try to get it back twice.
Do you leave Memphis right away?
Yeah, only for a Vlad and No Jumper interview.
So Memphis is, you still go back?
Yeah, I still live in Memphis.
Really?
Yeah, I live in Memphis.
I mean, bro, we know Memphis is Memphis, like.
Yeah, Memphis is Memphis. I'm Memphis too.
Yeah, but bro, like, you don't feel.
I mean, I understand the concern and what you're saying, but you know, I'm from Orange Mound, so you know, I come from that environment. You know, I've been this beef shit like second nature. You know, you had to be firm growing up in the environment. You know what I'm saying, where I come from. You know, I'm from the same hood, A Ball and MJG. You know, and shout out to Ball and G, to my guys. I know them personally, but nah, man, it is what it is. You know, you just gotta move how you supposed to move, and just, you know, and be ready to, you know, leave it all on the field, you know what I'm saying, if the situation presents itself.
Yeah, and you know that a lot of people in Memphis, they feel some type of way about you.
You know, it's crazy, you know, and I'm sure it is, you know, but, you know, Sean, it ain't a place that I need to go that I don't go. And with that being said, you know, I don't see the hate. Not one time have I had a bad experience since the trial, since being able to move around freely and do what I do. Only thing I get when I move around is, hey man, me and my girl watch you, man, on YouTube, man. Keep doing your thing. You know.
So the narrative's changed over time.
Yeah, and people be, you know, they even ask for pictures, you know, which I felt in the beginning it felt sort of weird, you know, because I ain't no fucking celebrity, I ain't famous or no shit, but now that I think about it, you know, the more and more I've done it, because I can't even fix my mouth to tell nobody, no, I ain't gonna take no picture with you, you know, even if I don't want to. But now it actually makes me feel good, you know, to know that somebody, you know, they looking at me, you know what I'm saying, like just for the person that I really am, not for the person that the media painted me out to be, you know, and it's some people that actually rock with me, so, you know, it make a nigga feel good.
Yeah. So I remember recently you said that Dolph didn't know how to move. And I mean, you're in the same predicament where you're in a place where it could go 50-50.
Correct.
What is the correct way to move in Memphis?
I mean, you know, when you move, you know what area is what area, you know, and hanging out at, you know, you got some real shit like what he had going on, and just jumping out at the cookie shop in that type of vehicle, broad daylight, you know, if that's how you're gonna move, then you need to be moving properly in that, you know, in that situation. You got your little brother on the passenger side with you, you know, and no disrespect to his little brother, but I don't know him, but, you know, he wasn't prepared for, you know, whatever transpired that day. If you're gonna be like that in the neighborhood, knowing that you got some life or death beef going on, you gotta just know how to move. And I just felt like from the things that I seen, you know, Dolph wasn't moving properly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ain't no way that I would have been on Airways at the cookie shop like that with just one little nigga with me like that. Just, you know, slippers goes, and, you know, I got to make it back home. So, yeah.
I remember when you were released, you did an interview with Vlad, and people felt as though you had something against Dolph, and it seemed like you were pro Gotti to a lot of people, you know, and it's still to this day. Like I was just doing my homework on you, reading the comments, and it just seems like you had something against Dolph. Was it any gray area, or did something go wrong with you and Dolph?
No, hell no. It wasn't, you know, it's just I'm gonna speak the truth, you know, and how I feel, you know. Even if it's something, you know, if it's a situation, if it's something that Gotti do that I disagree with, I'm gonna speak on it, you know. I ain't no rapper. I ain't never wrote a verse, and I ain't security for no rap label, but I'm from the city, and if it's something, you know, if it's a truth out there, I ain't gonna bend it or move the goalpost just because, you know, bruh, you know, lost his life, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately. You know, I'm gonna speak on it how it is. You know, if it might kind of make him look like, or make it look like that I'm being biased or whatever, then I'm not. I'm just speaking on it from a real nigga perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, now I ain't had no dog in that fight. Whatever him and you know, Gotti had going on, that was between them.
So know? You never met, you were cool with Jook. You never met Gotti.
Nah, we just had I had one phone conversation with Gotti over the phone years ago, and it was about an artist he had at the time, and I kind of had a little pressure. I was applying a little pressure on the artist about some shit he had my name in his mouth to a little chick, and so Gotti reached out to me through a cousin of mine that's like family to him, and he got us on the phone, and considering the close-knit, I guess, relationships or whatever, so to speak, he asked me, you know, would I be willing to, you know what I'm saying, you know, squash it, you know, just on the strength. And then it was just some shit about a girl, you know. Mm-hmm. And Lil Homie was kind of like in his feelings or whatever, so of course I was willing to squash it. You know, I was on some money shit. I was a hustler. I ain't never been no bully or no nigga that just run around, just wake up looking for beef. I always, you know, in my era, we wanted to see who could get the most money and the most bitches, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, hell yeah, I squashed this shit immediately. So that was our only interaction that we ever had. You know, like I said, my relationship was with Jook.
And you knew Dolph, like you met Dolph before, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all hustle together?
We ain't hustled together, but we done did business together before.
So how I mean, it's over with now, but like how did you front him? Did he front you?
No,
like,
it wasn't a front. Like, Dolph like to smoke the best of weed, just like I do. And so, sometimes they will have some stupid over there in Castalia, and him and Big Daddy over there, CEO of Paper Route, Daddy O. So, and then sometimes, the best of being Orange Mound. So, they'll call, reach out, and then we'll just, go back and forth like that. But, it wasn't nothing about no front, no whatever. Anytime we did business, I had my money, he had his money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But y'all never really grew like a close relationship. It was just...
No, it was just strictly business. Anytime me and Dolph ever talked on the phone or anything, it was strictly about some smoke. Yeah. It wasn't never no personal shit.
Yeah, in a old diss record with Dolph, he said he fronted Juke. Like that was a thing. He wanted the world to know. Is that true?
Yeah, I think what Dolph probably meant by that is, Juke probably pulled up because, Dolph, they used to have some really good weed over there, and Juke them used to have some good shit out in the north too. So we all did had our fair share, but I could see Juke pulling up over there, getting a few ounces or whatever before he slide out of town, hit the road or something one time to smoke on. And it's just weed to smoke on, At this point, Juke wasn't selling weed in the street to hustle. His little brother, a multi-millionaire, so he didn't have to do that. And Juke was getting money himself, so I could see him pulling up on Dolph, getting a few ounces to smoke on at the time. He may not have the ends on him or whatever, and, nigga, get up with you later. I think that's what Dolph meant or whatever, because Juke wasn't even selling. Juke was on the other side. Like, weed wasn't never his thing. Juke was getting money with the white.
Yeah. Memphis, man. So Memphis is as crazy as the media makes it seem.
Yeah, it could get crazy, especially, if you're not from there, and if you're not tapped in, you're not with, and and then, the young niggas, it get really crazy, if you, them cliques, so yeah, I can't downplay it. We got the National Guards and Homeland Security and all that shit there right now for a reason. Trump did that, because Memphis, it had really got wicked. Women couldn't even go outside and warm their cars up in the morning for work. The young niggas outside taking them, and if you make the wrong move, they'll kill you about your shit. So yeah, I can't downplay it.
Yeah. Juke was killed at a funeral, and there was a white car. It was on surveillance. Looked like paper, no tags. I don't if I can remember correctly. Yeah. Nobody was ever found, right, for that?
Nah, nobody. They never charged anybody about it, but the streets know what they're here for, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know. But he was killed at like a repast.
Yeah.
A little celebration after the funeral for a family member. So, they never charged anybody, but if you tapped in, if you in the loop, everybody know what they're here for. Yeah.
And quiet as kept, it seems like this Dolph and Gotti thing is slowing down, but like the security guard, the CC security guard, he came out saying that Gotti car was recently shot up. Is it stuff like that still going on?
Nah, I think that nigga there, man, I think he need a money evaluation or something, man.
So a lot of stuff you don't think that should be accurate?
No, it ain't no think. I mean, that what he said right there about his car getting shot up. It had several attempts on his life. A raindrop ain't hit that man too hard. You know what I'm saying? That big homie CC, you know what I'm saying? I think that nigga there, man, I think he need to reach out to criminal, man, do some Tubi movies or something. That shit, you know what I'm saying? Dude just making up shit as he go, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to big homie CC though.
Yeah, I did see that. And like, damn, like this shit's still going on. Like,
no, man, that shit ain't happening, man. If some shit like that would have popped off, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, I know about it, Sean, and you'll know about it because I fuck with you.
Right, that's right, that's right. Yeah. So we're in Dallas now. The whole Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane shit, like, happened in January. I'm here in Dallas. I heard bits and pieces about it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have too. You're in the loop. Everything's came out. I mean, his bond has been rejected. What do you think? Where do you think this goes from here?
mean, from everything that I've seen and the shit that I know, I mean, it's a difference from where I think it's gonna go and where I hope it's gonna go. Them little niggas from the city, so I, 30. I know 30. I done met 30. I hope them little niggas get freed up. They was doing their thing and felt like they was just about to take off and provide some generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? But there's a difference to where I think it's gonna go dealing with the feds.
Mm.
Man, the feds don't move on you until they know they ready to move.
No surveillance, no guns.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
But I'm gonna tell you though, when I was going through my situation, Manny Aurora, my lawyer, who I think the best attorney in the world, he told me the biggest blessing in my situation was that my case wasn't federal. He said the reason being because one of my counts was a conspiracy count. In federal, the conspiracy laws, they're way more broad. You know what I'm saying? It's like very vague. Like they have a lot more room and ways to convict you, you know what I'm saying, in a conspiracy versus if you was in state court.
Mm-hmm.
And if the dad is actually on video in Staples printing out a release form, if what those agents saying is true, then that's what you call an element in the conspiracy. That's premeditation, you know what I'm saying? That's conspiring, a lot of that shit gonna be, a lot of people ain't thinking about the call data. How the call data the GPS placements, the cell towers pinging is gonna place whoever at this location, you know what I'm saying, at the time. Then you got, even if Gucci don't cooperate, you got the cameraman. Man, the cameraman gonna be at court for the judge do, testifying. So not to mention the off-duty police officers, what they got to say. So it's more complicated than what people think, and it's gonna be pretty rough, and Sean, when the last time you seen 8 niggas charged on the case and everybody kept it real?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, we gotta, just gotta see how that shit gonna play out, I say this, I'm glad I ain't in the situation.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. It's shit gonna be crazy.
Gucci Mane's wife.
Yeah.
We know that she has a big influence on his life. She's his handler.
Correct. Caretaker.
Yeah, caretaker. Mm-hmm. Like, even if he doesn't want to corroborate, it looks like, he already made statements.
Yeah,
do you feel like she put that battery in his back?
Yeah, of course. And just imagine, him coming home, without his wedding ring and watch, and humiliated as a man. You gotta tell your wife this shit. You supposed to be one of the biggest gangsters in the world.
Mm.
And so, I'm sure she was upset. She a civilian, what's she gonna do? She gonna get the police involved. I don't know if you seen the press conference the other day, but they said the federal agents got statements the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Like they interviewed all parties on the first day. So I just, I was willing to bet my Social Security number that Gucci wasn't gonna cooperate based off his reputation. Shitty done said in the past about him, not cooperating, and he never will. And he said it with his chest out. But now this a whole different Gucci. This a Gucci that's on psych meds, and he being, he basically being, he like a, she got the strings, she pulling them, you know what I'm saying, and it's almost like the nigga, like he on a remote, you know what I'm saying, so with that being said, I could see her putting the battery in his back, and kind of pushing him over the edge. But now, at this point, I think he done had a chance to think about it. He probably done talked to some reputable niggas in the street and like, nigga, damn, what's going on? So, and I could see him now at this point kind of like
retracting.
Retracting and backing up off of it. But again, they don't need Gucci. They don't need Gucci for nothing.
But what if Gucci tells the cameraman, hey, I'll pay you?
You don't think Gucci already told him that in the beginning? If that was the angle that they was gonna go, Gucci could have been did that. some people, the cameraman said some people reached out to him with the belongings, trying to get him his belongings back. He told him he didn't want it. If I would have reached out to that cameraman and he told me that, I would have got a one-way ticket to Honolulu.
The cameraman said no, or Gucci said no?
No, the cameraman said no. Some people allegedly from Pooh Shiesty's side reached out to the cameraman trying to give him his belongings back in fear, trying to keep him, quiet. And he told him he didn't want none of his shit back.
Like damn, now I'm gonna cook y'all later.
Yeah. Y'all keep it. Y'all took it. Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So he got his mind made up.
Yeah, definitely. He got them pictures and shit, those wounds and shit, all of those pictures were taken on the first day. Yeah, he was very cooperative.
So you're in the street, you're from Memphis. It's a big thing. We all know Gucci and Yo Gotti had history over the wife.
Yeah.
There was this thing in the street that people kept telling me that Pooh Shiesty was trying to go to CMG, 15 million. Yo Gotti had the bag ready for him. That's why he was trying to get out the deal. Do you believe that? Do you believe that Pooh Shiesty wanted to go to CMG?
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow. So that's confirmed.
Yeah. And he was about to sign, if things could have got worked out, you know what I'm saying, in a peaceful business manner. Yeah, Gotti was definitely, that was going to be the ultimate checkmate. And just keeping the G, that's what Shiesty should have went in the beginning. You from the city. You going to go sign to a nigga with an ice cream cone on his face from Atlanta. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't understand that for the life of me, but everybody, you know what I'm saying,
Keep it a buck. Why? What made him choose Gucci over Gotti?
I'm going to be real, I'm going to take it all the way back to a lot of people don't know this story. Shiesty dad, Mob Boss, he had a record label, and he had an artist back in the day. I don't know if it was his artist. I don't know if he was managing. I want to say his name was Miscellaneous or whatever. And so back in the day, Miscellaneous and Gotti, I think Miscellaneous was kind of going at Gotti on CD or whatever, Nothing in the Streets or whatever. So with that being said, I think it was a little, Gotti may have felt a little certain way still about that or whatever, and he might wasn't reaching for Pooh as strong as Gucci was at that time, and a Memphis nigga, we ain't gonna sit around and wait on nobody, if it's another nigga that's reaching, and you know what I'm saying, and trying to help a nigga put food on his table, just cause he from another city, a nigga gonna pay it some attention, and if it sound right, then let's get to it. Ain't about where you from, it's where you at, So I think that was just, you know what I'm saying, I think that was just all some shit that had to do with his pops or whatever from years, you know what I'm saying, before he even thought about started rapping.
Yeah, because that's the thing, the 15 million to get out the deal. Allegedly, Gucci stole money from him when he was in prison.
Yeah, while he was gone, that just came about saying that, he supposed to made anywhere from 15 to 25 million, off of him. And if that's the case, but Shiesty had just signed a $5 million publishing deal with Atlantic. And they was also trying to do like a little label deal with like his Chopper Gang imprint. But they still had Gucci.
In the way.
Yeah, in the way. And Shiesty wasn't in agreement with that. So, that was one of the topics or one of the big, that was a priority that was supposed to be talked about at the meeting or whatever. How it played out, that's how it played out or whatever, but that was one of his biggest issues. He wanted Gucci all the way out the way.
You being a reputable guy from Memphis, was Shiesty wrong for that?
Was Shiesty, considering the things that Gucci did to Shiesty while he was gone, disrespected his cousin, Big Scar, disrespected.
He gave him $10,000 for the funeral, right? That's what his dad said.
He came, he gave him $10,000 after the family somewhat, blasted him, online. But I'm talking about initially, their first phone call.
Oh, about the chain.
Yeah, instead of being concerned about putting them away, you was concerned about repossessing the chains. So considering that and, the amount of money that he allegedly made or whatever, I think it would have been fair for him to, get out the way and go and let Shiesty do his thing. That's what I would have did. But I told somebody the other day in the interview, if Shiesty would have paid attention or somebody would have got in his ear, if you think about it, all the artists that Gucci had, he had Nicki, Young Thug, and when shit got, when people got disgruntled, he let everybody go. He ain't try to hold.
That is true.
He ain't try to kidnap nobody. So maybe.
But this night he told him no. I guess when Pooh and him got together, he pretty much told him he wasn't going to release him.
Yeah, well, and if he said that, then that's a totally different ball game, and things could have, spiraled from there, So I could see Pooh getting upset if that's how he had his mind set on getting out the deal, and you say no, you ain't, Yeah, I could see him getting upset and shit just spiraling out of control after that.
Yeah. Now you said some things that made some people upset. You said that Dolph wasn't a street cat; he was a hustler. He wasn't a gangster.
Yeah, he wasn't a gangster. Yeah. And I think if Dolph was alive, I think Dolph would he would stamp what I said.
Really?
Yeah. Dolph was, and just because you a hustler and you're not a gangster, I'm not saying he was a bitch ass nigga. I definitely wasn't saying that because he wasn't no hoe. I'm just saying, he wasn't on no gangster type of time. And, Dolph wanted some money. Dolph was a player. Dolph was a, nigga that's, when he stepped out the house every day, he was like a mannequin from head to toe, fresh as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And fuck with a lot of girls and was always there some money. So that's what I meant. When I said it, I meant it. I gave it like a compliment. It wasn't a diss. At one point in time in my life, I consider myself a straight hustler. I wouldn't. I hadn't got off into no gangster shit yet. I was just strictly on some hustling shit. But the environment I come from, you have to. It's like shark infested water. So you got to learn how to, swim with the sharks and. Gangster shit come with it.
Yeah, I remember when your daughter passed in Houston. Rest in peace. Sure. You spoke out on Facebook and you were like, you really blamed yourself.
So what I meant by that was, my daughter's side of the family. For the most part, I used to have a lot of nice things and shit to say about them people, but that shit gone out the window now. But just keeping it G, the church going people, basically, law abiding citizens, I would say, so all the street shit, the sliding and all of that shit that my daughter was talking about in her rap songs and shit, that I just feel like it came from her watching me, from a distance, and because nobody in her family lived that type of life. So I just feel like if I was a better role model or a better parent, and she wasn't seeing me doing the type of shit that I was doing, maybe she would have been a better person. So that's what I meant by that.
And this was around the time where, the whole, I think the Dolph shit happened. So people assumed that was about the case you were going through.
Correct.
So we did report on that, and then we reported the guys who allegedly killed your daughter. They were from like Louisiana or Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah, that was from Louisiana.
That was so that was so like off to me.
Yeah, and if a lot of people do their homework like you did, it's in black and white. The little boys, everybody told on everybody on their case. They were just some little kids. Seeing my daughter in a club, knew she ran with Lil Uzi, and knew Uzi played a part in helping step her jewelry game up. She already was iced out. My daughter she was a hustler.
Yeah, she had the swag.
Yeah,
she had that swag.
Yeah,
she had the swag.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she was like that. And so with that being said, Uzi, put the battery in her back and kind of stepped her game up. And the little kids, they said they seen when she was, online with Johnny, getting her shit.
Oh, so they were watching her the whole time.
Yeah. That whole night, when they first spotted her, they watched her. They had a couple girls, move around, like follow her in the club, some shit she wouldn't even pay attention to. And so they ended up following her and catching her at a red light and tried to rob her for a jewelry. And the one guy, when he reached for the door, he tried to open my baby door, but she had the door locked. And that's when she ended up shooting him through the door. And another guy that was with him jumped out from behind and he was shooting.
Oh, so she shot one of the guys.
Yeah, that's how they ended up getting caught. When I was actually in communication with the detective when it first happened, Detective Love Lacey, he said, it's a good thing that my daughter had the will to up her gun and get the rounds off, because they could potentially would have got away with it, if she wouldn't have shot one of the suspects. Yeah, so she hit the nigga in the stomach like 2 times. So
how did they catch him?
they caught him because she shot him, his blood trail, and he was they found him like about a block away, down there unconscious from just 2 stomach shots that she hit him. Yeah.
Okay. So they everybody in that case start telling on each
They
other.
started telling on each other, once they got the phones and shit. He tried to lie and say that he was behind my daughter and witnessed her getting robbed. She got into a shootout and he was an innocent bystander and he got shot. And they once they did their investigation, they realized his gun was one of the guns that they shot her car up and shit like that or whatever. And once they came to him with that, he saw like Michael Jackson, told everything,
And they ain't get no jury or nothing. They didn't even get a
they
chance.
ain't get nothing, and with everything, these little kids cooperated and told their social security number backwards. With that being said, if anybody in the hip hop community or rapper had anything to do with my daughter's death, those little kids would have said it. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, as when they try to associate my daughter's death with what I had going on, I just sit back and I just shake my head and just laugh. When my daughter got killed, I wasn't even indicted yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people I wasn't even on the radar as far as like, having any involvement in the murder of Young Dolph. So, when my daughter got killed, it was innocent. It was just kind of like maybe a month or so prior, you know what I'm saying? Too close.
Yeah. Had to be the roughest time of your life, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my daughter, I lost my daughter, my grandmother, and a brother. My brother died in a car wreck in Miami, so I lost all 3 of them, you know what I'm saying? That shit was just like back to back to back like the Lakers, you know what I'm saying?
And in the case, the nail was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, my case, you know what I'm saying? The case was the last thing, so yeah, that shit was tough. Yeah, that most definitely was the roughest moments, you know what I'm saying, in my life.
Now you have teardrop tattoos. For the people who are ignorant with that, teardrops don't really mean death. Sometimes it means sorrow or mourning.
Yeah. For the most part, a lot of people get them for bodies. Some people, like myself, we get them for mourning. When you lose a close loved one, somebody is just like, shedding tattoo tears.
Yeah.
Tupac used to say it all the time. So that's my definition. I ain't never killed nobody.
Do you feel like, did you think about that during your case of them stereotyping you?
Yeah, I definitely did, and it was one of my concerns. And man, it was like the jury was here to look at the evidence, not your tattoos. So yeah, he always, anytime I kind of got paranoid about shit, Manny Aurora, he was always there, a phone call away. Like I said, when I say Manny and Robert, they like the best attorneys in the world, because I ain't never met no attorneys you could wake up with a concern at 12, 1 in the morning and call them. And you know what I'm saying? And they'll do a deep dive with you at that time of morning, so yeah, and shout out to Manny Aurora, and Robert Wilson.
Yeah. Have you ever been in any life-threatening situations where something almost happened to you?
Talking about as it relates to the case, or
just in the street? Nah, just in the street.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I done been shot. I've been shot on 2 separate occasions. The last time I got shot, I got hit 7 times.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
The last time you got hit, how many times have you been hit total?
So I got hit the first time I got shot twice, and then the last time in 2010, I got hit 7 times.
Were you like a jack boy or something?
Oh no, I ain't never took nobody shower.
So why'd you get hit 7 times?
I ain't just a sucker had a sucker attack that he won't have no more. And yeah, nigga was just speaking on some shit he ain't have no business speaking on. And sometimes, when you do shit like this, you know what I'm saying, people tend to jump out the bushes. You know what I'm saying? You know.
So I mean, you're just you're walking out the house one day and you get hit up, or
Nah. It was an argument. It was a confrontation before prior, and I actually had the ups on him, and my homeboy Fish kind of distracted me, and when he distracted me, kind of got me thrown off my square or whatever. So slippers goes, you know what I'm saying? So
7 times though. Where was it at? Like
my body.
Yeah.
I got hit stomach, chest, both my hands. My pinky finger actually came off.
Damn. Which one? Let me keep up to the.
This one right here, my pinky finger. Nigga, it was.
Damn.
See it?
You right there. You good?
Yeah, see right there. I got a rod. I got a whole rod in here. Nigga, it was hanging. This part was hanging like an eel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I was shooting.
He stood over you?
Nah. I was shooting. When I was shooting back, a nigga thought I was Michael Myers or something. You know what I'm saying? I got hit up that many times, but I was still busting back. And when I was shooting back with I tried to shoot with my right arm. So when I tried to up my right arm, it wouldn't move. I'm like, damn, what's going on? I know what I'm thinking to myself. Whole time I got hit in my shoulder too. So it fucked my rotator cuff up. So I put the joint in my left hand. When I put it in my left hand, now I see my pinky finger gone. So I get off about 3 or 4 rounds. Shake ass nigga, he run off the lot. He's so scared, he run off the lot, leave his car, leave the vehicle he was in. But
thought you were dead?
After a couple minutes, when I was on I was on one knee, and I was talking to my cousin. I got a girl cousin named Yogi. I was talking to Yogi, and I was talking to my partner Fish too, and I kind of started getting cold.
They were there?
Yeah, they were there. You know, yeah, and I started getting cold, and I told my cousin, I was just like, I said, cuz, man, make sure you call my daughters, you know, call my girls and tell them I love them. And she kind of went off on me. She like, nigga, you got me fucked up. You gonna tell them. You know what I'm saying? And so they ended up putting me in we was waiting on the ambulance. I was kind of
How long did you wait for? You know the ambulance take forever.
Yeah. We waited around probably maybe 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And when nobody come, they ended up putting me in the back of this truck. We was at the car wash, me balling them JGP it every day. Mm-hmm. And they put me in the truck and they took me to the fire station. It was actually the new fire station, and they took me to the fire station and shit, and they got me right. They said, and
all this is over an argument, the disagreement.
Yeah. Well,
money involved or no?
No, it's over just a sucker running his mouth speaking on some shit, you know, that he ain't had no business speaking on. You know what I'm saying? Some shit to get you tapped on your ass. Shit.
Is this guy still alive?
Yeah. He's still alive. He's still alive, but you know, when you do bad things, you know what I'm saying, bad, you know, you get bad karma and shit come with it, you know. He ended up having you know what I'm saying, an incident after that where, you know,
it didn't go his way.
Yeah. He got hit up like 6 times or some shit, you
Damn.
know, and that was just his bad karma, you know. He went around telling everybody that, you know, that it was me.
This dude Hernandez is, I know you're psycho because you don't raise your voice. That's how I know you. That's how I know you psycho.
Nah.
Because Charleston's, I seen Charleston, you and him going back and forth. And when I seen you didn't raise your voice with, he was being disrespectful. Yeah. I said, this dude is a psycho.
Yeah,
I said, Charleston, watch this nigga.
Nah.
He was being super disrespectful. And I know you're not going to let him play. If you're smart, you're not going to let him trick you out your position. But, and it's cool, y'all are cool now anyways. Yeah. But at that point, when I seen you didn't raise your voice, I knew you were psycho.
Yeah. No, I ain't psycho. You know what I'm saying? I just, I love to match energy though, you know what I'm saying, you know, but it's crazy, you know. I know a lot of people that might agree with what you know what I'm saying, you know, you saying I'm psycho, but I just I tend to find myself in a lot of situations where niggas doing goofy shit, sucker shit, and they get to playing, and then, you know, it turns into me going from being on defense to being on offense, and it make it, you know, it almost like I become the aggressor. You know, because and I try to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm trying to apply that amount of pressure where it look like I'm the aggressor, but the whole time I ain't out here starting nothing. I just want some money. You know what I'm saying? I just want to take care my son, and just live a peaceful life, you know. But in the midst of all of that, you know, sometimes suckers get in the way, and sometimes you have to tap them on their ass.
Have anybody ever tried to rob you?
Yeah. I had that incident. That was one of my first demonstrations I had to put down, and you know, and that's shout out to the GDs in my neighborhood. You know, we cool and shit now, you know, but I got robbed by the GDs. I was about, I think this was when I first got in the game. I was probably like 16, 17, and they called me to the chemical banner. It's apartments like maybe 60 seconds from my block. And some niggas that I actually grew up with, you know, they robbed me for a couple pounds, and we came back that same night. Yeah, I got my shit back and some of their shit, you know. And the next day, my nigga Dogside ended up reaching out to me. Dogside had a lot of rank in the GDs, and he reached out to me, you know what I'm saying? And
how do you get robbed though? Is it you trying to sell something? And
yeah, they called me for a couple pounds, like they wanted to buy it. You know, they ended up upping on me while we was weighing it up. This was back in the day. We had the hangman scales. You know what I'm saying? We was going through. I was weighing up 16 ounces to show these niggas that it was a full pound. You know,
and these are people you trust, like you cool with.
Yeah, it was niggas that you know what I'm saying. You know, a few of us that was in the house, we were the same age. You know, they just grew up in the projects. You know, and all us in the Orange Mound area. You know, but like I said, they was gang affiliated. I ain't never been in no gang. And but you know, I'm glad that happened or whatever, because you know I got a chance to put my first demonstration down. And
is that when you jumped off the porch?
Well, I was kind of like already out the porch, but that was my first demonstration though. You know, I had to, I let a nigga know that I wasn't going for no sucker shit.
So you don't rob people. You're not in the gang. You seem like a pretty.
Yeah, I'm just a nigga that wants some money, but I ain't gonna.
You don't deal with no disrespect.
Yeah, nigga I ain't gonna let nobody play at all.
I seen you said that Lil Flip was a sucker.
Legendary.
How? Was you like?
Yeah, I mean, you know, at one point, you know what I'm saying, you know, that was Lil Bro, you know what I'm saying, but anytime Capone reached out to me recently, you know, Capone, you know, in the latter years, me and Capone was like the closest to Flip, and Capone reached out to me. He was like, man, bro, I ain't Flip hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? And I said, why he hurt, Pone? And he said, man, you know, me and you the only two, man, that Flip could call on. I said, man, you know what, man, Pone, you right. So why the fuck I couldn't call on him when I was indicted for murder? Why the fuck a nigga took their tail on me? You know what I'm saying? And Pone didn't really know how to answer that, because there wasn't no answer to it, because Pone from the streets. And Pone know that shit ain't one.
I mean, what did you want from Flip though?
I mean, just to talk to my brother. You know what I'm saying? You know,
you couldn't even get him.
He wouldn't even get on the phone. You know what I'm saying? You know, and when I got the not guilty verdict, then he tried to reach out and give me this, had this kumbaya with me, give me this goofy ass excuse that he was afraid that they was gonna try to tie him into the case. Nigga, how? You ain't never shot a slingshot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it, Sean. Like, you know, you ain't never sold a gram, nigga. Like, include you how?
But you know the rap game, how the politics can go, man. Especially with the Dolph and Gotti shit, man.
But I'm gonna tell you though, in all fairness to Flip though, I really think he believed that in his heart and in his mind that those some kind of way that those people could have included him in my case. You know, he gotta believe that shit, because other than that, that was my little brother. Like, for real. Like, and if a motherfucker called me right today and said, Flip, man, right on the corner of the gas station, some niggas jumping him, I'm gonna try to do the dashboard. Even though I ain't fucking with him. I still love the nigga. I just ain't fucking with him for the sucker shit that he did.
Was there a lot of people who counted you out?
Definitely. Yeah, a lot of niggas counted me out.
Like people from Memphis? And...
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from Memphis counted me out. You know, you down there had to share down there almost the same blood with me, you know what I'm saying, not to, you know, count me out, you know.
But do you give them that same energy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I cut a lot of motherfuckers off. Yeah, it's a lot of motherfuckers I wouldn't piss on if they was on fire. You know, so yeah. And family too, you know, I share the same DNA and blood with some motherfuckers that I'll never fuck with again. Cause they ain't bothered to, motherfucker ain't bothered to show up to the trial. So it ain't nothing we could ever talk about again, ever in life.
Mm. People claim, and I don't want you to get mad at this question, but people claim that Gotti helped you with your case and the financial and
Yeah, man,
that's just that's this is a great interview. I got to keep it real with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, most
people believe that Gotti had kind of gave you some money to get through with the Dolph shit.
Yeah. God ain't gonna give a cancer baby a leukemia hug. You know what I'm saying? As it relates to, what I'm saying, anything to do with me. You know what I'm saying? God ain't never gave me a dime. He ain't never gave me no type of hush money as far as I'm concerned. I don't even know him to have any involvement with the case.
People ask you that before, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. So, but no, man, me and my family, we went through, man, goddamn, so many motherfucking hoops and goddamn obstacles and shit. You know what I'm saying, to make this shit work.
How much was lawyer fees?
So, Manny initially wanted 200 initially, So when I got to explain it to him, like, look, he was like, it's 300,000 pages of discovery, and and I'm like, look, I don't care how many pages of discovery in, but I shouldn't be involved in, I would say maybe, I'm guessing at the time, maybe like 1,000 or so. Fast forward to us getting out of discovery, it wasn't even that many pages, you know what I'm saying, concerning me or whatever. So he ended up going down to like 100, but shit, between that, the investigator, my private investigator, I had the best private investigator in the world, Q, and so I think I fucked off. I got to probably about like 70 or whatever between him. My Memphis attorney wanted 25, 1,000, and so I got to like 70, 80, and kind of started feeling it, because I wasn't hustling, and I was on house arrest, and I was just making this shit work the best way best way I could, So
I know life is beautiful now that you can get paid to just do this.
Yeah. I used to tell these same stories for free, Sean. You know what I'm saying, in the cell, on 23 and 1. You know what I'm saying,
during the Dolph case when you were in.
Yeah.
How long did you serve up to?
I got I did 11 months until I ended up hiring Manny Aurora.
Nobody tried to press you in prison about Dolph?
Nah.
Really?
Nah. We was in Memphis, and I was what you call a high profile inmate. So they kind of had us. We was sectioned off. We was. I was in the pod with maybe like 10 or 12 other individuals.
Yeah.
But we was all on 23 and 1. We all came out to use the phone and shit by ourselves.
So they wouldn't even let you go population.
Nah, they wouldn't even. I beg.
You feel like that's like feeding you to the wolves. You feel like some shit would have happened because Dolph is loved.
No, they felt like that. I didn't feel like
you didn't feel like that.
No, I wanted to go to the to General Pop. I'm from Memphis. I've been there my whole life. Just like motherfuckers love Dolph, niggas love me too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was ready to go. That's where I always go. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no PC nigga. I ain't no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put me where they at.
Yeah. That Boosie and Kodak, that was a whole thing they had.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people said, Boosie was coming at Kodak for allegedly going PC, but sometimes you can't choose, right?
Yeah, man. Shout out, and I kind of gave my opinion on it without knowing all the facts recently. And shout out to my boy OG Gigavelli from Miami, Florida. Come to find out, from what I'm hearing, Kodak was on administrative PC, meaning that the warden and all of that, they'll put you on it if they feel like, if you could, they might feel like you could bribe officers, and you did big
because your status, yeah,
because your status,
yeah,
and they'll put you on administrative PC. So, from what I heard, Kodak didn't check in the PC out of fear. I heard he was forced in by administration. So if that is the case, then respect to Kodak. But I ain't got no respect for no nigga that's checking in PC. You make 100 rap songs talking about sliding, and you taking care of your family off of this drill music, and then soon as some shit pop off, you want to check in PC. I don't respect it. Yeah, you need to give all the money back that you made off of the drill songs and the rap shit. You need to give all that shit back if you checking in PC.
You don't look at it as protecting the brand?
Nah, if you're gonna protect the brand, then you'll protect it in the booth. You'll stop rapping about all that goofy ass drill shit. You know what I'm saying? Start rapping like J. Cole.
Oh, honey. What's the most dangerous part of Memphis?
Man,
everybody's coming
I'll be, you know what I'm saying? I think it'll be some real sucker shit to say that it was a part of Memphis that was the most dangerous. You know, every hood in Memphis can get it popping. You know what I'm saying? You know, shit, Castalia, they got hitters, North Memphis, Orange Mound, South Memphis. We all got it, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's smackers in every section. So it can get just as dangerous in any neighborhood as it can in the other, bro. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you was asking me about some of the most dangerous niggas, you know, I could probably, you know, highlight that and pinpoint that. But as far as the neighborhoods, you know, every neighborhood can get busy.
Because Memphis is, everybody in the mainstream media is coming at Memphis, especially NBA players. I don't know if you seen LeBron say what he said about Memphis.
Yeah, I seen that.
And y'all really are prideful. I mean, as everybody should be. People ain't feeling that.
I mean, I don't think Bron meant it like from a derogatory point of view. I think he was just saying it like, you know, Bron said the same shit about Cleveland years ago, and he from the area. You know, he from Akron, Ohio. So I just think he said it from a perspective of it ain't shit to do in Memphis. It ain't shit to do in Milwaukee. You know, when the game over with, all you can do is go back to the hotel and go to sleep. Because if you go outside of Memphis, you might get shot. You know what I'm saying? Or robbed. You know what I'm saying? Or targeted as an NBA player or NFL player, you know? And so with that being said, he wasn't talking about the people. He was just talking about the, you know, the environment, the vibe, you know? And I get it. I ain't shit to do in Memphis. When you go other places, man, you move around, you go to LA, Dallas, Houston, you know what I'm saying? Arizona, places like that. You don't never want to go back to Memphis. I see it, and I'm from there.
But you making decent money now. Why Memphis? Is it a connection thing? Is it that's where you comfortable at?
I mean, you know,
you could be anywhere in the world, but you want to go back to Memphis.
Just, you know, for one, you know, I still got kids there. You know,
how many kids you got?
I got 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I got 10.
How many? How many?
I was in high school, I was a motherfucker.
How many baby moms?
Man, I got 6 baby mamas.
Damn. Yeah, stressful?
You know, back in the day when we was, you know, when I was younger, you know, but now most of my kids grown, you know. Yeah, so, you know, I got kids in their 30s, you know, so I don't even have to talk to some of my baby mamas, you know, so it ain't like that no more.
But when you were younger, it was kind of hectic.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. You know, everybody young, you know, me not being the best father in the world, being, I was devoted to the streets, married to the streets, and she come for the streets.
What's the youngest?
Or 10.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, you could be anywhere in the world, so you're in Memphis because your kids.
Yeah, kids, and, you know, and then you know what I'm saying, I still got ties myself, you know, obligations and things that I was, you know, that I still do.
Yeah.
Whatever the case. But as you can see now, you know, I've been moving around working a lot, so I'm not there as much.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm slowly making the transition. I just got a spot down here in Texas. So
yeah, you like Texas?
Yeah. You know, I should live down here with Flip. You know, yeah. You know, so when we moved from Katy, Texas, we ended up moving. We came out here to Dallas. We were staying in what they call that shit, Lancaster. Yeah. We had a spot out there. So yeah, man, I love it. You know, it's you know, you move around. You know what I'm saying? Just the vibe. You know, I get plenty of love when I move around, you know what I'm saying? And it's just cool. And it's a lot of people from Memphis out here.
A lot. It's a lot of people from
it's
Memphis
a lot of
and
people from
Texas
Memphis out here, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas gonna move down here and making
starting a new life.
Yeah, starting a new life, man, making some legal legit money, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully, you know, I can stay in that category.
Mm-hmm. So last thing, I definitely want to bring you back. It's a lot more to talk about. What do you have to say to all the people who wish the worst for you? Because it's a lot of that still.
Yeah, you know, I just wish they knew me as a person and knew my heart, you know. Man, I'm a God-fearing, you know what I'm saying, dude, good-hearted. I can shed a tear, you know. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm not what the media, the person that the media made me out to be.
Yeah, I thought you was a demon for a long time.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I appreciate your transparency and, you know what I'm saying, and your honesty. But I'm not. I'm the total opposite. I can match any energy or whatever, but for the most part, bro, I just like to check, have fun, and, you know what I'm saying, and watch sports and smoke the best weed around. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, bro, you know Charleston better than a lot of people. How did somebody like you forgive Charleston? Maturing, you know what I'm saying? Just looking and thinking back to the old saying, you know, words don't hurt. You know, where I'm from, I got, you know, you gotta have alligator skin. You know, some of the things that bruh said was disrespectful, but like he said, you know, he was misinformed and misled by a sucker, you know, and once he took a deep dive and got to seeing and asking some real people from Memphis what type of person I was, and he got the real story. And so he reached out, bro, just reached out to me one day and hit me up, and I hit him back. And when we chopped it, you know, I've been in the street so long, I could tell it was something genuine, you know what I'm saying? And bro was just on some genuine shit, you know, and we met up, and we ain't been on nothing but some real shit ever since. Yeah, for sure. I fuck with him. It's
a blessing to be able to tell your story and make a living off of it.
Yeah, definitely is, bro. Like it's a surreal feeling, you know, not to have to wake up in the morning times and be looking to sell some drugs, you know what I'm saying, and going to meet 20 to 30 niggas every day. You know what I'm saying, man? I don't even want to see one nigga, let alone 20 to 30 if I don't have to.
Do you feel like after the trial, the police start watching you more?
Nah, I don't think so, because if the police watching me or if they was on my line, they know what I'm on. They know I ain't on nothing but some YouTube podcasts, and you know what I'm saying, them days of the guns and the very, very harmful drugs or whatever, them days over with.
So keep it real. The day after the trial, were you timid going back to Memphis?
Well, I was in Memphis.
I know, but after you got out, was it kind of a...
No, because I'm going to tell you why. The whole time while I was on bond, of course I was on house arrest, right? But they had it on my phone. They do it a new way. They don't do the ankle monitor or nothing.
Okay.
I check in, maybe I do facial recognition like 3 times a day. So after I do my last facial recognition, I was in the streets, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nigga, I was going to parties and all kind of shit. You know,
while the shit was going on.
Yeah, nigga, I bumped into a few of the paper route members at one of my people party. I bumped into.
No. Whoa. While the trial's going.
Before the trial, before I had my trial, I bumped into Yo Diddy at my cousin party. And yeah, they from Castell, and they the day one paper route members. We got blood, sweat, and tears.
So you've seen PRE people since?
Yeah. These the PRE members. These the niggas that know me as a person, and know that I wouldn't harm or do nothing to a innocent person. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't do it. It just ain't me, bro. I got a heart.
So know? you were caught in the middle because you knew all these people.
Yeah, I was trying to put a record deal together, bro. I was trying to get out the streets, man. You know what I'm saying? And do something legit. And something that could potentially, you know what I'm saying, like get me all the way out the streets. You know, I'm from the jungle, but who want to stay in the jungle? You know, I think if you want to stay in the jungle, there's something wrong with you mental. Sure.
Hey man, I appreciate you, bro, for coming through. You hit me last minute. You missed your flight. I was happy when you told me you missed your flight.
For sure.
But hopefully, shit, in 2-3 months you can swing back through, bro. Because there's a lot more I want to ask you. Yeah. I just wanted to touch the surface. Yeah, but definitely a good ass interview, brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to check it out.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
Till
you,
next
man.
time.
Man, for sure. Thanks for having me.